Many Europeans have come to believe that America is in decline because the media is filled with images of homeless encampments. But the moment they set foot in the land of the stars and stripes, that belief is instantly shattered by the sheer luxury and breathtaking scale of a global superpower. From skepticism to complete amazement, this video will take you on a journey to unravel a dramatic culture shock and reveal why the world seems to both criticize and crave the American way of life.
GTA, bro. What? I used to drive my car up here when I was 15. This is crazy. Everything here looks so expensive, like 2-3 grand minimum. Beverly Hills is beautiful.
It was an unbelievable experience watching a world that had only existed in video games suddenly come to life in the most extravagant, dazzling, and incredibly realistic way, right down to every street corner. The excitement and disbelief were written all over the faces of these visitors from England as they came face to face with a reality far beyond anything they had ever imagined. So why does this place feel so overwhelmingly spectacular? This is where America's extraordinary purchasing power and exceptionally high disposable incomes are on full display. In sharp contrast to Europe, where modesty is often valued and the ultra-wealthy face heavy taxation to help fund social welfare, the United States embraces free market capitalism and celebrates the open display of personal prosperity. It is a powerful reminder that the American way of life has an uncanny ability to turn even the most extravagant dreams into tangible wealth that commands attention from everyone who sees it. Have you ever visited a real place that looked even more impressive than it did in the movies? And yet Los Angeles is only the beginning. The real spectacle is waiting on the East Coast.
The Coca-Cola sign! Yes!
Yeah!
Yes!
Simon Square!
Yes!
Oh,
Yes!
we found it! I didn't think it's real, but it's real! Ah!
It was pure, unfiltered awe as someone from one of Europe's most orderly and disciplined countries suddenly found himself standing in the very heart of global consumer culture. That look of complete amazement and overwhelming excitement revealed a simple truth. Some places are so extraordinary that you have to see them with your own eyes before you can believe they actually exist. So what gives this place such an incredible surge of energy? The answer lies in the sheer density of urban energy, unlike almost anywhere else in the world. Across much of Europe, preserving historic architecture, limiting light pollution, and embracing quiet evenings after work are deeply rooted priorities. Times Square, by contrast, stands as a striking symbol of American financial power, where every square foot of massive LED displays represents millions of dollars invested by multinational corporations to capture attention and fuel consumer demand. That is why New York has earned the nickname the city that never sleeps, because the flow of capital moving through this place never stops, not even for a single second. But can a world fueled by this much energy truly welcome everyone with equal ease? The answer is waiting with the next group of travelers.
So, you were getting me angry in the master slots.
Their overwhelming excitement quickly gave way to uncertainty as they found themselves trying to make sense of a city that never slows down and never filters itself. Confronted by the relentless pace, the constant noise, and the endless stream of unexpected sights on the streets, they experienced what could only be described as a full-blown culture shock. So why can New York feel so overwhelming for visitors from the Nordic world? The answer begins with the differences between their societies. Norway is known for its calm way of life, its humble culture shaped by the idea of janteloven, where standing above the crowd is generally discouraged, and its strong social safety net that provides an extraordinary sense of stability. Place those same people in New York, and the contrast between the Nordic tradition of collective support and America's intensely competitive individualism becomes impossible to ignore. That collision helps explain why New Yorkers always seem to move at lightning speed. In this city, the moment you stop moving forward is the moment you start falling behind. After leaving behind the noise and pressure of New York, our journey takes us to an extraordinary oasis of entertainment built right in the middle of the desert.
You guys have the Venice canals inside the hotel?
Yeah.
Who needs to go to Italy?
I know, right?
And the water's actually clear here?
I know.
These rooms are huge!
Yep, double the size of the Venetian.
Really?
His expression said it all as he came face to face with America's remarkable ability to reshape reality itself. Recreating an entire historic European city, complete with canals and gondolas, inside a massive climate-controlled building goes far beyond the limits of conventional architecture. So why are Americans so captivated by massive, larger-than-life projects like this? The answer lies in the American entertainment industry's philosophy of the megastructure. While Europeans often focus on carefully preserving the historic landmarks they have inherited, Americans are willing to invest billions of dollars to create entirely new man-made wonders that maximize the visitor experience and generate enormous economic activity. It is a powerful example of a distinctly American philosophy. If reality does not already exist, they will build it themselves and turn it into an engine of opportunity and profit. And America's larger-than-life spirit does not end with extravagant casinos. It extends into the everyday shopping habits of ordinary people as well.
Das ist so unfair. Die haben so schöne Kerzen. Ich habe mir auch dort ein paar Sachen gekauft. Danach ging es weiter für mich nach Ulta. Das ist so wie Douglas, aber so die amerikanische Version. Zwischendrin habe ich mir ein Smoothie als eine Verstärkung gekauft und danach ging es weiter für mich nach Sephora.
It was the pure satisfaction of a shopping enthusiast stepping into a place so enormous that you could spend hours wandering through it without seeing everything. The freedom to browse one iconic brand after another, favorite drink in hand, while filling a shopping cart along the way, creates a form of entertainment that is difficult to find anywhere else. So why has this model become so successful? Because this is far more than just a shopping mall. It is an economic institution in its own right. The United States has one of the highest amounts of retail space per person anywhere in the world. Flexible consumption taxes, combined with a culture that encourages spending, have transformed shopping into a core form of entertainment that is woven into the everyday lives of American families. It reflects a broader reality about the American economy. Domestic consumer spending has long been one of its strongest driving forces in a society where many people place a high value on enjoying life rather than simply accumulating wealth. But you do not have to visit one of the world's largest shopping malls to be amazed. Even America's everyday supermarket chains are enough to leave many Europeans genuinely stunned.
It goes so far. There's a Starbucks inside of it. Yeah.
Her initial surprise quickly turned into pure excitement as she experienced American retail on a scale she had never imagined. Stopping to take photos and freezing in amazement at the sight of a major branded coffee shop built right inside a supermarket perfectly captured the culture shock unfolding before her eyes. So why are America's everyday retail chains so incredibly massive? The answer is the idea of one-stop shopping taken to its fullest potential. Across much of Europe, grocery shopping often means visiting a collection of small specialty stores such as a neighborhood bakery or a local butcher, preserving traditions that have existed for generations. In the United States, supermarkets have evolved into retail empires that streamline the entire supply chain, bringing together everything from books and electronics to fresh groceries under one roof, all to save time in a society that moves at an extraordinary pace. This remarkable industrialization of everyday life reveals how Americans have transformed even the most basic necessities into an unmatched experience of convenience. And if you think supermarkets are only for everyday essentials, then you have never seen the supermarkets that American men love to explore.
Look at this.
What? This is crazy.
Aquarium.
What the fuck? Oh, holy shit. Holy shit. What the fuck is this? Look at this big ass creature.
Their excitement reached another level as they wandered into a massive space where the line between a retail store and a museum celebrating the natural world seemed to disappear completely, giving it an outstanding 9 out of 10 while standing in awe before the enormous aquarium made one thing clear. This was a shopping experience that went far beyond anything they had ever expected. So why would an outdoor sporting goods store be built on such a spectacular scale? The answer reflects America's deeply rooted outdoor culture, a tradition shaped by generations of exploration and frontier history. The country's vast landscape has made it possible to bring even the boldest ideas to life, turning a trip to buy outdoor gear into a genuine adventure, something that would be far more difficult to create in many European countries with limited land and stricter preservation policies. It is another example of how America transforms a passion for the outdoors into a multi-billion-dollar experience-driven industry that continues to captivate visitors from around the world. And beyond these enormous stores, another culture shock is waiting to be discovered in the bold and unmistakable flavors of everyday American food.
You have to eat Chipotle if you're here. Yeah, Chipotle is very good. It's a whole new experience. In Switzerland, the cities are a lot smaller than here. People here are a lot more open.
The joy of discovering America's everyday food culture lit up the faces of two visitors from one of the most expensive countries in the world. The excitement of finally tasting legendary favorites they had only ever seen on a screen, combined with the warmth and friendliness of the people around them, created an experience they would not soon forget. So, why do American fast food chains have such remarkable appeal? Switzerland is well known for its conservative culinary traditions and its exceptionally rigorous standards for foreign brands. The United States, by contrast, became the birthplace of global franchise culture. The diversity and vibrant energy of these restaurant chains reflect the very nature of an immigrant society, one that has always been willing to embrace new ideas and bring them to a mass audience. American popular culture clearly has a magnetic appeal that can win over even the most discerning visitors from the old world. Which American fast food chain is your favorite? Now let's head to a city whose architecture leaves visitors in absolute awe.
The water is so blue. Look at this. Oh my god. Chicago is amazing. The views. Look at the views, man. Nah.
It was a genuinely positive experience that shattered the long-standing rumors and deeply rooted stereotypes about America's public transportation being outdated and unsafe. Their excitement, their expressions of amazement as they took in the city skyline, and the sense of comfort they felt from the friendliness of the local people revealed an entirely different side of the story. So why does Chicago leave such a lasting impression? Because this city is the birthplace of the modern skyscraper. Although America's public transportation system is often compared unfavorably with those of Europe, the vast scale of its urban connections and the remarkable efficiency of its grid-based city planning still create a breathtaking visual experience unlike almost anywhere else. This journey is a reminder that once you step beyond the stereotypes spread online, you discover an America that is welcoming, well-organized, and remarkably easy to experience. And if Chicago's rail system caught them by surprise, then the highway network in Texas is about to leave them absolutely speechless. Complete astonishment soon gave way to a helpless laugh as the driver found himself navigating what looked like an enormous concrete maze. Seeing layer upon layer of overpasses weaving together like giant ribbons beneath a bright blue sky created a visual spectacle that was impossible to forget. So why has the transportation infrastructure here reached such an unbelievable scale? Because Texas perfectly embodies the saying, everything is bigger in Texas. In sharp contrast to much of Europe, where cities are designed to prioritize walking, cycling, and rail transit to make the most of limited space, America's transportation network was built around the automobile following the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956. This extraordinary infrastructure demonstrates that in the United States, a car is far more than just a way to get from one place to another. It has become a symbol of freedom and the ability to conquer vast distances. And beyond these monumental highways, America is also home to cultural icons that seem to have stepped straight off the movie screen, leaving visitors absolutely thrilled.
Oh my god, can you make a picture of me?
Why? Wait.
Because of
What?
it's a yellow school bus, like from the American movies.
Okay.
You know?
Pure joy transformed an ordinary day into one of the most unforgettable moments of her life, as an iconic symbol she had only ever known through Hollywood suddenly appeared right in front of her. The overwhelming emotion, the tears welling up in her eyes, and her immediate decision to call a loved one revealed the extraordinary power of childhood memories brought back to life. So why can something as ordinary as a school bus stir such powerful emotions? It is one of the clearest examples of America's extraordinary soft power. Through generations of legendary movies and television shows, the United States has successfully shared its lifestyle, culture, and school traditions with audiences around the world, turning some of the simplest parts of everyday American life into dreams recognized across the globe. For American students, it may be nothing more than the familiar ride to school every morning. For millions of people elsewhere, however, it is a shining piece of childhood nostalgia that has lived in their imagination for years. But when the dream created by the movies collides with reality, that illusion can disappear in an instant.
What is this?
That's a vent.
Why are they blowing dirty air in the sky?
It's not dirty air, it's just hot air.
That's dirty.
A look of hesitation and uncertainty spread across her face as she came face to face with a strange sight in the middle of one of the world's greatest cities. Seeing clouds of vapor rising from the familiar orange street vents made her wonder if she was looking at polluted or even hazardous air, revealing the cautious perspective that many visitors from Europe naturally bring with them. So, why does New York have these mysterious clouds of steam? What seems like a simple misunderstanding actually points to an engineering achievement that dates back to the 19th century. Beneath the streets lies a vast steam heating system that provides heat to thousands of buildings across the city. When the hot steam comes into contact with cold air or rainwater, it condenses and escapes through the street vents, creating the mysterious, cinematic atmosphere that has become one of New York's most recognizable images. This culture shock shows how visitors can sometimes view America through an overly skeptical lens, turning a remarkable piece of infrastructure into an imagined source of danger. And sometimes, disappointment turns out to be real in the very places where expectations are the highest.
Right, so I'm walking the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and I have to say it is so underwhelming. This place is like...
It was a harsh reality check that shattered every glittering illusion as the traveler came face to face with the unfiltered side of one of the world's most recognizable landmarks. His obvious disappointment and blunt 0 out of 10 rating, driven by streets that felt worn down, lifeless, and at times unsettling, revealed a reality completely different from the glamorous image seen on the screen. So why can the entertainment capital of the world leave such a disappointing impression after dark? The Hollywood Walk of Fame has become one of the clearest examples of the challenges that come with heavy commercialization, along with broader social issues such as homelessness and deep economic inequality across California. It reveals the enormous gap between the polished image shaped by decades of media and the far more complicated realities of managing a major modern city. It is a reminder that without realistic expectations, the collision between Hollywood's cinematic dream and everyday reality can surprise even the most seasoned traveler. And it is not only famous landmarks that shape a visitor's experience. Sometimes, a traveler's own reluctance to embrace a new culture can leave them feeling like an outsider in the middle of America.
What
the hell? Why are you eating feta cheese from a bag?
Why are you eating chips from a bag? Feta cheese is healthy.
A stubborn yet oddly humorous perspective unfolds as the traveler refuses to adapt, instead constantly chasing familiar comforts from home in a world that feels completely different. From rejecting local food to expressing frustration and disappointment at the high prices of simple souvenirs, his experience reveals a deep disconnect throughout the entire journey. So why does this experience feel so out of place? The clash comes from both economic and cultural foundations. New York City is a global financial hub where high incomes are matched by extremely high costs of living and services. When someone shaped by a slower-paced, frugal Mediterranean lifestyle steps into America's fast-moving consumer economy, a shock in both prices and habits is almost unavoidable. It becomes clear that America is not a place that adjusts itself for anyone. You either accept its rules or remain on the outside looking in. Yet, despite all criticism, American culture continues to quietly spread into even the most historic corners of Europe. A final note of irony, yet one that feels deeply grounded in reality about the global dominance of American popular culture. Walking through one of the most historic and vibrant districts along the banks of the Danube in Budapest, The realization that the most prominent spot is occupied by an American fast food chain says it all. In a quiet way, everyone seems to have embraced America. So why has such a simple American symbol been able to invade even the oldest cultural strongholds of Europe with such ease? This is what scholars often refer to as McDonaldization, where America's economic power extends far beyond financial figures and becomes a global lifestyle. It standardizes, simplifies, and turns the most ordinary products into everyday necessities that no country can easily ignore. No matter how much pride Europeans take in their 1,000-year-old history, they still willingly consume American culture. America may not be perfect, but it has a remarkable way of making the rest of the world desire what it has to offer. Behind the moments of emotional outburst, the culture shocks, and even the raw disappointment of European travelers lies a curtain being pulled back, revealing the true nature of a superpower. The United States does not operate as a romantic museum of art or a calm utopia of social welfare. At its core, it is a massive economic machine, pragmatic and driven by hyper-capitalism. So why does this country generate such intense attraction and such extreme division at the same time? Because here, everything from the lights of Times Square, to the spectacle of Bass Pro Shops, to the dreamlike image of the yellow school bus is fully commercialized to stimulate desire and generate profit. Americans accept trading peace for speed, and they accept the darker side of inequality in exchange for the freedom to build and create. The United States is not here to satisfy the nostalgic minds of the old world. It stands there, powerful, crowded, but also marked with the scars of reality, as a challenge. Accept this harsh set of rules, or you will be crushed. The glamour has faded, and the arguments have drifted into the background. Now we are left facing a truth that feels almost awakening. America has never been a perfect paradise, but it may be the clearest mirror we have of humanity's future. The peak of every culture shock does not lie in the scale of skyscrapers, but in the realization that we are simultaneously admiring and fearing a world driven by a relentless, pragmatic form of energy. Europe may take pride in its past, but it is America that continues to shape how the world will function tomorrow. Do not come to America looking for nostalgic romance. Come instead to understand that in a flat and fast-moving world, if you do not push yourself forward and adapt to the speed of the era, you will remain nothing more than a stunned observer standing at the edge of history's current. The journey through culture shocks, from Las Vegas to New York City, has come to an end. The United States, with all its greatness and its raw, unfiltered scars, has shown why it continues to sit at the center of the world. You do not have to love America, but you cannot ignore it. Thank you for joining us on this unfiltered perspective. If this video has given you a new way of seeing things, make sure to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next journey of discovery. And you, what do you think about the rules of the game in America? Share your thoughts in the comments below.